I think a lot of people in the room know Zeba already. And so she probably doesn't need much of an introduction, but in way of an introduction for those of you who don't know her, Zeba Iqbal was the Executive Director of CAMP, or the Council for the Advancement of Muslim Professionals, in 2010 and 2011. CAMP seeks to engage, empower, and elevate Muslim professionals. She was also a founding member of Muslims Against Terrorism, founded in New York City in 2001, and she was a 2009-2010 Fellow of USC's American Muslim Civic Leadership Institute.
Her personal volunteer efforts focus on targeted strategic communications and outreach to make ourselves heard and our stories known. For example, she was a key promoter of the sold-out 20-show New York City staging of Wajahat Ali's fight, The Domestic Crusaders. We'd like to bring Zeba on board and present her with her award. We also have a similar proclamation from the city for her also.
Louder. Yeah. So I'd like to thank all of you for being here this evening, and I'd really like to thank MCN. I'd like to congratulate my fellow honorees. It's a privilege to be honored alongside Wajahat Ali, a dear friend, and my fellow worker lead. And that always one of my favorite institutions, and now even more so with the stunning new Islamic galleries. And the Mecca Center, critical gateway for Muslim converts. Debbie and Megan and all of MCN, I know the lead up to this amazing event has been a marathon, and so I'd like to congratulate you for this wonderful event. And last but not least, congratulations to my NYC graduates. Ladies, I hope that you enjoyed your leadership program, and that you've gained skills and met mentors and friends that will last you for many, many years. I'm very humbled by this recognition, and the truth is I was pretty surprised because when I received Debbie's message in my inbox about 2 months ago, I thought she was just emailing me to let me know that Wajahat was receiving an award and that she wanted me to be at the event. And if you know, Wajahat and I are very close friends, and between him and me, he's the rock star, not me. So I view this honor as a recognition of my work in the past 4.5 years, but I also look at it as a recognition of CAMP. And I believe, as you know, that Muslim professionals have much to offer, and that they are valued as representatives of the American Muslim community. I think that this honor validates that belief. I was the executive director of CAMP from January of 2010 to December of 2011. But my real story with CAMP began in September of 2007 when I joined CAMP's national leadership team. And my time as the executive director, in many ways, was just a continuation and an expansion of the vision that was put forth in 2008 at our Camp Leadership Summit. I was a New York chapter officer when I took the role of national vice chair in September of 2007. We were at an ISNA we were at the ISNA convention. We had a camp meeting, and our Chicago chapter officer, Sabrina Qureshi, had been asked to join Camp National as vice chair. Sabrina's point-blank response was, "I will accept only if Zeba takes on the role with me." So talk about pressure. I only met Sabrina that morning, and I still don't know the basis of her 2-for-1 deal with Camp National. But luckily or unluckily for her and for Camp, I accepted. And that marked the beginning of a long and strong partnership between Sabrina and I. I get a lot of credit for Camp and its success, but I mentioned Sabrina because Camp would not be where it is today, and I would not be standing here if it were not for the tireless efforts of Sabrina and many others in the Camp team, some of whom I'm happy, or many of whom I'm happy to say are here today. Professionally, September 2007 was not the most ideal time for me to be taking on a major volunteer commitment. My industry, the real estate industry, had taken a nosedive, and hanging on to my job was stressful and required many long hours at work. But sometimes opportunities come at seemingly inopportune moments, and if you recognize them, you can't pass them by. So after working for almost a decade through several major recessions and 9/11 and passing up most volunteering opportunities because work was always too busy or too stressful, I decided that I couldn't say no to camp. The truth is, I think, that in 2007, I needed camp almost more than camp needed me. I was seeking an anchor and a place in the American Muslim community, and the opportunity with camp provided me with both. Earlier that year, I had moved back to New York after a year of working in India. India, if you know me, is home to me just as much as America is, and I had decided in 2006 to accept an opportunity through my company to move back. I thought I was moving to India for good, but things didn't work out that way. I moved back to New York in the spring of 2007 because my time in India had helped me realize that though I could live in either America or India and be happy, the Muslim aspect of my identity needed American Muslims, and I needed American Islam. Moving away from my parents again, when I moved to India to be closer to them, was very hard. But my mom says Hijri is good, and the speech I heard by Sheikh Hamza helped me understand why. Addressing immigrant Muslims, he said, Hijri is hard, but never doubt that there is great benefit in it, and that it's meant to purify your religion. I spent that summer on friends' couches and in sublets, looking for a new apartment and seeking something meaningful that I could invest my time in. I attended the Thai conference in Silicon Valley. Thai, which is short for Vietnamese entrepreneurs, was founded by successful South Asian entrepreneurs and professionals, and is known for its conferences, networking, and mentoring. It helps professionals excel, but also helps them to give back meaningfully to their communities. I also read a lot. I was inspired by Islamica magazine's Shaping Islam in America, profiles of 10 young visionaries. I was encouraged by the Chicago Council and Global Affairs Report, the Civic and Political Inspiration of Muslim Americans. And I was heartened by two amazing books, Genevieve Abdu's Muslims on Main Street and Eboo Patel's Acts of Faith. At the end of the summer, I attended ISNA, and at the camp all-hands meeting that I mentioned earlier, I finally found that something meaningful that I needed to invest in. One of my major tasks in my new role as the Vice Chair of Camp National was to develop the 2008 Camp Leadership Summit. And when we started planning the summit in the fall of 2007, I thought back to my summer learnings. Why couldn't the Camp Summit be for Muslim professionals, but the Thai conference to South Asian professionals? Why couldn't we invite the best and the brightest in our community from a variety of fields to have a diverse set of conversations? If Islamica's and Genevieve Abdu's profiles and Eboo Patel's personal story impacted me, wouldn't Muslim professionals embrace the concept of hearing and sharing each other's stories? Did Muslim professionals know that think tanks were actively discussing Muslim political and civic engagement? These questions and others helped inform the vision for the Camp 2008 Leadership Summit. At the time, no one in the broader community was really focusing on Muslim professionals or their needs or what they wanted. So at that time, we didn't know if Muslim professionals wanted to be engaged with the community. We didn't know if they wanted to meet in an inclusive and non-judgmental environment. And we didn't know if they wanted to promote professional excellence and celebrate each other's achievements. Being Muslim professionals ourselves, we had some idea, and we made some educated guesses, educated and informed guesses. The 2008 conference was a success, and I think the testimonial from Amir Khan, not the Amir Khan we saw today, but the other Amir Khan, who's the co-founder of Muftis, another Muslim professional organization, says it best. He said, any serious Muslim professional that cares about their faith and their career must attend this event. We've since hosted 3 more conferences in 2009, 2011, 2012, as well as over 150 events across campus chapters, including dinners, iftars, community service events, professional networking events, and recreational events. And I think it's safe to say that Muslim professionals definitely want to celebrate, sell, and give back. And they definitely want a place in the American Muslim mosaic. Camp opened my eyes, it expanded my networks, and it opened many doors for me. I came into contact with amazing, accomplished, and tireless Muslims from across the country who, like me, were seeking an anchor and a place in the American Muslim community and who wanted to give back. Through these networks, I've worked on a variety of initiatives focused on community service, political and civic violence, gender equity, cultural appreciation, and Islamophobia. My list is so long, I can't keep up with it, and I have to say that, when you start doing this kind of work, in the Quran it says, Allah asks us to buy each other in good works, and this is grace, a constant grace. And I sincerely hope that my efforts through CAMP and various other networks have resulted in some good. Thank you very much.